On to you, Pisces. Y'all Pisces coming through. Shout outs to you. So you have the Two of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and then you Pisces have the Emperor. So the Two of Swords speaks volumes, right? Because it represents people's hubris, and it represents their unwillingness to actually be able to understand when they have crossed the line with you and when they have hurt you, right? When they mistreated you. They didn't want to admit that they was wrong. And the Nine of Swords represents you would try to, in so many words, try to show them that you care about them, but they're disrespecting you, right? And they didn't care. Now the Emperor is you, Aries, you've come a long way, is what it's trying to say. You've come a very long way from how you used to be, where it's like, you know what I mean? People would treat you like garbage, you know? And a lot of it is with the intention of creating drama, you know? The stupidity, right? Telling you, some people are on the short yellow bus. Some people belong on the short yellow bus, if you know what I mean. Because on one hand, once again, they'll say that they want generational wealth. But then on the other hand, they can't stop playing games. And it's like, if you're going to create generational wealth, a person cannot be downstairs. If a person is going to say that they want generational wealth, they cannot be downstairs with it. They cannot be downstairs with it. They can't, they have to actually have a mind on them. Creating generational wealth requires studying. It requires education, planning, right? Putting the plan into action. You cannot do that and at the same time play games where a person is every 2 seconds they're trying to sabotage you. They're running a mind game. Every time you turn around, that y'all two are getting into an argument. You and that person is taking the time that you're supposed to be creating a plan to be with one another and build with each other. Instead of doing that, y'all are arguing with one another because the person is an idiot. The person has mental problems. Just gloves is off. The person is really, they got mental problems. Because why in the world would somebody, once again, choose to spend their time like this in the first place? Pure stupidity. But the thing is that the good news is that you Pisces came a long way from this. A lot more of you Pisces can see that coming from a mile away. If a person, isn't on your same page where they're looking to blame you, a lot of you Pisces will stop reaching out to them and just go find somebody else. I see there's a sense of you Pisces would have moved way too fast back in the days. You Pisces would have moved way too fast back in the days. You know, you Pisces would have been you Pisces would have been in a situation where you and this person could have really been in a tiffy, because you will be like having a disagreement with them in your own residence because you moved them into your apartment or your house way too quickly. And this person is a weirdo. And then it's like, it's this breakup where, stop moving these people into your home. The stuff that I talk about is unorthodox, but if you really want a successful relationship, stop moving these people into your home. These people need to be able to financially pay their own way. Stop believing that relationships are not 50-50. All of that nonsense about relationships not being 50-50 is not real, and it never was. That's for a selective few who could financially afford to do that type of stuff. The vast majority of people, of couples in the world, were 50-50. It's only in this modern era is when people want to now be selective about their usefulness. They want to pay their own bills, but when they get with somebody, now they want to kick their feet up and rub their toes together, rub their feet together, and be as useless as possible. The Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands now is about, you got to shape you. You don't have any parasites on you, but I'm saying that you have to keep the parasites. You have to keep the parasites off of you, because they will literally be in your life as long as they possibly can. And if you let them be in your life, they'll just kick their feet up and coast and let you do it. Queen of Wands represents to remember to be who you are, to remember what makes you unique, yo. To remember to understand what you are trying to look for. Relationships should be 50-50. Especially when it comes to the internet. I don't know what it is about the internet, but people will get their goofy behinds up on the internet and they will say the most sensationalist thing for clicks and views and risk making themselves look completely out of their mind for clicks and views, right? You know? But what I'm also saying to you, Pisces, is that you, Pisces, have to understand, remember what it is that you essentially started dating for. If you're looking for someone to legitimately be in a relationship with them, right? What works for you? Is 50-50 a thing? Or do you want, I can't even say it with a straight face without laughing, but do you want to pay all the bills and all of this? But you have to understand that people who pay all the bills and this is something that I've noticed, because again, Virgo, attention to detail, people who volunteer, they often get taken advantage of by their partner, because their partner starts to ask them to do much more extreme things as the relationship goes on, out of the blue, or seemingly out of the blue. So remember, if you, Pisces, want a contributing relationship, you have to set that from the jump. And if a person doesn't want that, then they're a user. There's no exception to this. Once again, how does a relationship work if it's not 50-50? How does a functional relationship work if it's not 50-50? Because non-50-50 relationships is one person is paying, pay to play. That's what it is. And you have some people who will try to get you, Pisces, to pay. Your reward is paying. So the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles is about how, and they'll try to make it seem like you're missing out on something so special. What I'm seeing here for you, Pisces, is that y'all are getting to know people, and it seems to me like a lot of people that you're meeting are coming to you with that nonsense about they're looking for a provider. A provider there's another name for a provider, you know. Because I remember back then when they called providers betas. Now all of a sudden that's the only thing that everybody want to talk about. Oh, they want a provider. Well, why? When it's what, 2024, when in 2000, early as 2016, 2017, I could show videos. Shout outs to LAR movement. I could show videos right now that shows and proves that at the time when people talked about betas and stuff like this, they want a provider. They was shaming a person that paid all the bills and did all that type of stuff. like that person wasn't the person to be. Now all of a sudden that's the talking point. Everybody wants providers now on either side. So there's some people coming to you with this rhetoric. Don't fall for it, Pisces. Because this is just another way for people to use you, to try to use you. The Eight of Cups, leave that alone. A lot of you will give that some thought, and it's still, the math ain't mathing. What are they bringing to you? Because if I'm really gonna say what it is, both sides should essentially be bringing the same thing. Both sides should essentially be bringing the same thing. And what I mean is, I'm not necessarily talking about it from a perspective of, if you making 100,000, the other person should be making 100,000. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it in principle. If you can provide for yourself, the other person should be able to provide for themselves. If you have the capacity to give, the other person should have their own version of a capacity to give. This nonsense that you Pisces have luckily dodged, because you're becoming a lot more aware of how subtle it is and how it starts. Because you're right, usury starts at the very beginning, when you're trying to get to know the person and the person is telling you straight up, this is why it is that I had to take accountability, and why a lot of other people need to take accountability. Because usually it starts out from a perspective of, when a person is trying to use you, they tell you that they're setting the milestone that, hey, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Unless they don't do that. Unless they literally don't mention it for I ain't gonna say for the most part, but I'll say 50% of the times they don't mention it. The other 50% of the times they'll say it out loud. I don't do this. And they have a sense of entitlement to them. The King of Swords and the Four of Swords represents luckily you Pisces are more intelligent than that, to be caught up with the nonsensical rhetoric. To just sit there and allow yourselves to go back into the same dysfunctional cycle, the karmic cycle that a lot of people like to call it, but the dysfunctional cycle or what have you, of a person coming into your life and using you and treating you like trash. They're looking at you like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to subjugate yourself to, not of, because there is a difference. You're supposed to subjugate yourself to and serve them, and you're just supposed to serve them and never want anything. Because think about it, when does a master reciprocate to its perpetual servant? When, and I'm not going to even say the word, but I will use the euphemisms. When does a master, reciprocate, bring value back to its perpetual servant? Not short-term one, not a maid, not a butler, not any of that stuff. They are perpetually servants, meaning servants forever. And that's what their destiny is. That's what they were born to do. They don't reciprocate. And this is the kind of relationships that a lot of people are out here trying to get you Pisces to sign up for. But again, much more intelligent now. Let's clarify this Four of Swords, excuse me. King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Four of Wands, Eight of Wands. King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. No matter what games that people play, you're going to be all right. Your life is always better without someone that's going to subjugate you. Cards are confirming that you did the right thing to not allow someone to get you confused into signing up for perpetual servantry or perpetual servitude, being a serf and all of that other type of stuff, like medieval Europe being a serf and all of that, right? The Five of Swords and the Four of Wands is about, while at the same time making it seem like, at the same time, you making it seem like, they're making it seem like this is a happy home. And they lack such integrity, they could sit in that. They could live in that. Like, oh, okay, this is fair, right? Like, I could live with myself doing this. The Eight of Wands right here represents how you have to protect your energy, Pisces. You have to stop. Your homework is to pay attention and I want you to pay attention. I want you to get to know people, but what I want you, Pisces, is to also listen to how full of nonsense a lot of people are, because every time they engage with you, it's never an equal footing. It's never equity. It's always they're shortchanging you. They need to get the upper hand. I want you to pay attention to them, and we're gonna build on that as time goes on. But that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 100,000 subscribers. We're at 14,145 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. And also, too, come and get a reading from me so I can most definitely keep the channel going. Peace.